My name is Deja, and I hope you find serenity.
I hope you find serenity. I hope you find serenity.
Buenos dias. I just rose up and I'm here again making a video because wow, this book I'm reading is really, really good. And it's really, really helping me on a deep level. It's interesting throughout this journey of becoming awakened, becoming conscious to so much of the mindless living that I was doing and that is happening all around me. You know, you think when you have your awakening, like, oh, now I know. But the truth of it is you keep on being reawoken over and over and over again. And for example, I've read a lot of spiritual books, and even though some of the messages are messages I've heard before, I just need to hear them again to integrate them on a deeper level. Like I be needing to hear those lessons again. And sometimes I hear a lesson, but I'm learning so much. So I don't necessarily start to practice it. Even if I've heard it, I'm not practicing it. So as I've been reading this book, I'm being reminded of some things that some of them I do practice, and some I'm like, oh, I need to be practicing this. So this rising I was reading, chapter 8, I don't even remember the title, but of this book, the Tao of Inner Peace, which I mentioned in my last Walk with Deja video. And today the chapter I read was all about simplicity and simplifying our lives and decluttering and letting go of possessions. And how like having a simpler life can bring more peace. And I know this is true. And I honestly have a hard time with, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess I can say simplifying, but I was thinking of another word. Minimalizing or living like a minimalist. I have a hard time living like that because I just tend to have a lot of objects. I tend to have a lot of things. And I accumulate things over time. And then I have things like that are for myself. Then I have things where I'm like, oh, this is for when I have retreat guests. Like I have a whole bunch of art supplies that I hardly ever use. I don't really, every now and then I do feel called, not like paint or something, but it's not one of my, like my personal real hobbies. And I have a bunch of painting supplies because, you know, I use it during retreats. So, that's just an example, but I just have a lot of stuff. And then I travel, I have clothes, I have little trinkets and items. And for me, I'd be thinking everything is special, so then I don't like to let things go. And I know that it's not just my own pattern. I know that my mom has a similar pattern on a larger scale. She always has a lot of clutter. And actually my mom's mom was a hoarder. So I think I'm literally like the trickle down of that energy. Like my mom witnessed her mom, and then my mom is like a little better. Like she has less stuff than her mom did, but she does have a lot of stuff. And we've always kind of had like a lot of stuff in our house and always like unopened boxes in the garage that has our stuff in it, but we're not even using it. So do we really need it? But then just like my mother, it's hard to let things go because I'm like, oh, this is that keychain that my friend gave me in elementary school and that was special. I couldn't just throw it away. And also like we receive so many things that are just kind of random and they don't serve that much of a purpose. So it's like you don't really want to throw it in the trash can because it's not trash. But then you don't necessarily know what else to do with it. So, yeah, I'm really deeply realizing that. And don't get me wrong, like, I get rid of stuff. And I clean out my house, and I go through those times. And I always feel better when I do that. And just as I was reading that, I was like, oh, it's time to clean out the house again. And it's funny, because recently I did. Before my retreat, I cleaned. But there were still things I was like, oh, I don't want to, like, I went through my boxes, and I was like, oh, I don't want to let this go. I don't want to let that go. But now I'm like, oh, I need to let all of it go. Because the truth is, I hardly even look at it. I even have a box of things in Georgia, and when I was home recently, I went through that box, and there's so many precious items in there and things, and I still couldn't let them go. I got rid of some stuff. I mean, a lot. I threw away a lot of stuff, and then I just still left the box. And it's got books in there. It's got like every journal I've ever had since I was a child. And I really want to get that box here to Costa Rica. But first, I need to clear out some space here. And even the next time I go home, I'm definitely going to go through it and maybe downsize even further. Because I'm just realizing, wow, I be holding on to things. And it's just energy, you know? And it doesn't actually matter, you know? I can release it with love. It served its purpose while I had it, and it's time to let it go with love. So yeah, I'm feeling strongly that energy of declutter. So that's why I'm here making this video. Because as I was reading it and having that realization, I was like, ooh, I need to share this. This is a message. And I know if it's for me, then it's definitely for some other people who be in my frequency. Like people who watch me. Like, declutter your space. Declutter, get rid of stuff. Let it go with love. Now we can take pictures and things. You can take a picture of some stuff and create a photo album even. But even that, even like being able to put stuff in the cloud, even our clouds get full. I'm thinking of even my pictures and videos in my phone, which I'm constantly having to delete. Because I mean, look at me now, I'm making a video right now. I'm constantly having to delete these because I take so many videos and pictures. And it's really important to even declutter that digital space so that I have space for more. Because I'm like, my storage is full. I'm only 27. I know I'm going to take hella more pictures and videos in this lifetime. So I really do need to clear space and let some of this stuff go. I don't need to keep any of these selfies. I fucking know what I looked like. Keep one selfie for the whole year because years from now, you know, it's going to be a whole bunch of them. So yeah, I'm really feeling the need to do that. And in this chapter about simplicity, I also talked about discipline, you know, and because living a simple life, it does take discipline. And declutter also means creating less waste. This is something I really, it's really lighting me up right now. Because it's something that I learned and it was really important to me. And I think I've lost it along the way. And it's quite unfortunate. I actually really need to tap the fuck back in. But minimizing the waste that we create on the planet Earth, that's a big part of why I even live like this. I wanted to come here so I could learn about sustainable living and low impact living, low waste living, closing that cycle of waste. And I'm not fully there. I've definitely reduced my waste and the waste that I produce when I'm in the States. Even when I was just home, I was like, oh my God, I'm producing so much waste. Like one-use plastics, it's a no-go. Like no more, no styrofoam. Even like eating out and then getting like bringing like whenever you eat fast food, like they have so much plastic and styrofoam and just unnecessary waste. And I was eating out when I was home too. So it's like, dang, I got to get right. Simplifying our lives means creating less waste, creating less of an impact, like leaving less behind on the earth, you know? We want to like, we want to just not leave a mess. It's like simple, right? It's simple to think like, you know, clean up after yourself. But because it's out of sight, out of mind, we put it in the trash can. Then we're like, all right, I'm done with it. We just forget. But the truth is the waste that we create, it's sitting here on the earth with us. Even if it's not right in your living room, it's still here. And if it were in your living room will be full of trash. And you'll be like, oh my God, why do I have so much trash? So, oh my God, like literally this is blowing my mind even talking about it. And I'm like, this is why I'm living here. So I can create a more sustainable life. Because there's a lot of people here who live more sustainably, like, you know, who live in similar kind of off-grid situations and produce a lot of their own food and all these things. And I have the ability, like there's people around me who sell products not wrapped in plastic and stuff, you know. So yeah. And even the grocery store here has biodegradable plastic bags. So I'm grateful for that. Whenever I do use a plastic bag, I use it from that store. And otherwise, I have like a bunch of, you know, reusable bags that I just carry with me. But yeah, I want to create less waste. But it gets hard. Even things like, you know, I eat like different nuts and I use flour and oil. And these things all come in plastic. So I'm still creating some waste. And I'm working on that. Like some of my friends are talking about getting an oil press. We can make our own oil. And I'm like, that's what I really need to be on out here. That's what I really need to be learning about and tapping into on a deeper level. And I follow some people online who are like, have like sustainable off-grid farms, and I'm very inspired. And I'm ready to like be more in that. I'm really ready because I'm realizing that I'm not always fully living in integrity. Like, I have really good intentions, but I'm not always fully living in integrity. Because sometimes when I get into whatever mood, I'm just like, oh, I just want to like eat this fast food and I don't want to do anything else. I just want to chill. I just want to like watch a movie or watch a show. And it talks about that too, like even decluttering our minds. Like, we always have stimulation constantly, like music and talking and just influence from outside and not letting ourselves be in the silence enough. And I'm like, yeah. And I think that even just tapping deeper into my spiritual practice will make this sustainable living easier, because I'll move a little bit. I'll move different, like with a little slower. I can move a little slower and I can be like, oh, I'm actually not going to get this food to go from this restaurant because they're going to give me a styrofoam plate. So I'm either not going to eat right now, I'm going to fast and I'm going to wait and eat at home, or I'm going to sit down here and just be really present, live a little slower, and eat off a plate, that can, be washed and all that and be used again. And even the thing about, like, I do like to watch movies and shows on my laptop when I get home. And sometimes I need to just not do that. Sometimes I need to just be silent. And within that silence, other things can come up. And I've noticed this before when I'm not on my computer and stuff. A lot of times I'll be like, ooh, I feel a song coming on. And I pick up my guitar and I write a whole song. It gives me space for my creativity and also just space to just be and to breathe and to not be influenced by anything. So yeah, that's something that I'm tapping deeper into starting right now, starting today. Starting right now and today. My goal is just for today to be mindful and not create waste. It's a Sunday. I'm not going to town. I'm about to eat a cantaloupe for breakfast. And that might be all I even eat. I'm going to see how I feel. Because I've also been wanting to fast, but then I have a hard time fasting. I shared in another video, like sometimes I'll want to fast, but then I start to feel different emotions and then I decide to eat, but I'm eating because of my emotions. I'm not even eating to truly nourish my body. And it's like really being true and intentional with everything. Like, if I'm going to eat, I need to be 100% behind what I'm about to consume. Considering like whatever waste it's creating, considering who made it, considering even the price of it, because sometimes I'll go out to eat and I could have saved that money. And considering how I truly feel, is this truly going to nourish my body? Considering the ingredients. Okay, so there's a lot of discipline that I'm needing to tap into, because as I've been coming into my freedom, I have let myself get to a place of like, I can just do whatever. I can just do whatever I want. And on some level, that's true, but doing whatever I want doesn't mean just being unconscious again. Doing whatever I want doesn't mean just nothing matters. So now doing whatever I want is like, no, I'm doing what I feel is going to benefit myself and humanity and this planet. Jeez Louise, I'm like, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. I am sorry for the waste that I've created on this earth and for all of the uselessness. And I've felt it before. I have felt myself in waste, even wasting money. I was like writing down my finances yesterday and I was realizing, dang, like I don't need a whole lot of money each month, but like I spend a lot on like random, like unplanned things or like eating out and different things. And I really don't have the money to be doing that. So like bringing that level of just consciousness to it allows me to be like, oh, like now next time I think, oh, maybe I'll just go eat in that restaurant. I can be like, actually, girl, no, like you literally can't afford to do that. Like literally you can't afford that. And you have groceries at the house. It's giving adulting. That's what it's giving. I'm like turning into an adult for real. But over and over again, I'm learning. And as I'm learning, I'm needing to really practice these things. So I need to actively start living the lessons that I'm learning. So yeah, there's a need to actually practice and be consistent with my practice. So starting today, I am better than I was yesterday. I am bringing more consciousness to my life. And if I slip up, I will forgive myself and love myself and continue to move forward. Because the biggest thing that I've noticed within my life that has been a challenge for me is being disciplined and being consistent. Like, I can do it for a little while, but I tend to let it go because I've created a pattern of that in my life. It's literally my habit. So now, as I create new healthy habits, I really can rewrite my story. You know, I can rewrite my life. And starting today, I'm more disciplined, and I will be checking in with y'all. Hold me accountable. Comment, all right, girl. Hope you really about that life. Because I'm serious. Like, I'm about to be so much more intentional. And I've gone through these intentional phases. So I know that I can do it. It's just about coming back into it and being consistent so that it starts to be, you know, my nature. It becomes just your nature when you just are always living that way. So some of the things I'm wanting to be intentional about, not wanting, some of the things I am now more intentional about is what I'm consuming, both food and media, how much I'm consuming food and media, and the money I'm spending. So it's even like consuming, I feel like it's still that consumer energy. And also consuming like objects. So like not buying just stuff. Like the other day I was in the market and this, the local farmers, they're always selling stuff. Sometimes not a lot of people come to the market. They kind of depend on us foreigners here to like buy stuff from them. And this guy, he was selling these bags that his sister made, and I forgot my reusable bag at home. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just buy this bag and support this small business. And it was a cute little bag. And I brought it home and I saw all the bags that I had, and I was like, what is wrong with you? You just spent $10 on this bag that you did not need. And now you just have another bag in here and you don't have that $10. And I know it's a small thing, but it makes a big difference when I actually look at my life and my actual needs. Like, I needed that $10 more than I needed that bag, because I didn't need that bag at all. I could have stuffed everything in my backpack, carried things in my hand, borrowed a bag from somebody. But anyways, it's just an example to show, like, no, I'm bringing way more consciousness. Every time I'm about to spend money, I'm like, do I really want this? Do I really need this? Is this serving me? Is it serving humanity? For any object, I don't want to do any mindless shopping. I'm not into any mindless shopping or anything like that. Like, everything needs to be with conscious intention and with honor, just with honor for each thing, like really honoring this life. And another thing I'm more consistent about is decluttering my space. So releasing possessions. I'm going to be doing it little by little. You know, in the book, it even recommended going room by room, and that feels aligned for me. So today I need to do my dishes. So that's what I'm doing after this video. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the dishes, and I'm going to go through my stuff in the kitchen and see if there's anything that I can throw out, anything that I haven't been using. Maybe there's something I can give away, you know, and just organize my food stuff, declutter the kitchen. It's not really cluttered, but yeah, like I have like a box of foods and things, rice and beans and different, like, you know, packaged things. So I'm going to go through that, and I like wipe down that box. And yeah, okay, I'm going into details because I'm literally planning in my mind. But yeah, so I'm just sharing transparently like what I'm going through after processing what I read in this book. So I was able to wake up, read. That was really good for me. I did that yesterday and today. And that also feels good. Reading every rising when I first get up, because my days have been so good and so much better. So reading in the rising, and also intentionally having some time at night where I'm not watching anything, not talking to anyone, and just breathing, which I tend to do like right before bed. I tend to have some minutes, you know, maybe 5, maybe 20, maybe 30, depending on the night and how fast I fall asleep. But I have that time of just silence and presence and breath, and helping to declutter my mind before I rest. So yeah, this was a lot, so I'm not gonna continue. I hope it was felt. I hope it was understood. And I trust that it is reaching those who needed to hear it. Peace.